Hello, everyone. I'm so sorry for the technical difficulty. My name is Lawrence Crumpton, and I'm a solution specialist for the mixed reality team at Microsoft. I know you've been waiting, so let's just jump into it. Now, the first thing I want to talk about is why we're doing this. A lot of people, understand virtual reality, they understand augmented reality, but mixed reality seems maybe like it's a made-up thing, and it's not. For Microsoft, mixed reality is really about teaching hardware, software, tools, and platforms to see and understand the world. And really what this means is you have the ability for your applications to be intelligent in a way where you can bring context to the real world problem that you're trying to solve in real time with other people who may be with you in the physical space or remotely. Now, mixed reality is not just about the HoloLens. As much as I love it, really, when we think about mixed reality, we see that AI and edge computer devices proliferate the edge. And it's really changing the way that we can take advantage of the aggregate capability of this platform. At Microsoft, you heard Satya in the keynote talk about this platform as the metaverse. And the metaverse is really about how we work, collaborate, and train and team across the spectrum of devices, from laptops and phones and tablets and 2D into the rich immersiveness of 3D, and of course, the spatial holographic experiences that we have with the HoloLens. Now, when you think about the HoloLens, if you've seen videos or had a chance to try it, it is truly magical in the experience. What I mean by this is, it is completely untethered, see-through wearable computer. But that's what really makes the HoloLens amazing. It's built on Windows 10. And what I like to tell my customers is the difference between a really groovy POC and something you can deploy at scale and transform your business is how do you manage those devices? And the HoloLens has an enterprise heart and soul. So when you think about how you do your mobile device management, how you connect it to your enterprise network securely, how you put certificates on, even the fact that, like your laptop, HoloLens supports multiple user profiles. So a single device can support an entire team of people. Each person take the device off, sign in as themselves, and then they will be able to work securely themselves. And as I mentioned before, you have the ability to keep the device healthy, push updates down to the device. And the thing I am the most excited about is the HoloLens is a Windows 10 autopilot device, which means that you can configure it for autopilot, order a new one, take it out of the box, and it sets itself up right away, and you're ready to work. And speaking of that's where HoloLens shines as a spatial computer. This is a real application used by Airbus, and you can see that they are collaborating to get the job done. And when you think about what needs to be solved to do something like this, it's not just about one person working alone. We don't build an airplane at a table. We don't even build it in a room. We build it in a humongous hangar, in a giant factory. And we don't build it alone. We build it in a team, and not just a small team, but internal, experts, contractors, in shifts of teams of people do this. And this is where mixed reality shines, and the ability to support those diverse roles just to get the job done. So if we think about the different type of opportunities we have, remote expertise is an obvious one. Being able to see in situ information, the ability to design together, the ability to train in weather, especially when the training is complex or dangerous, all of a sudden you have these amazing new ways to rehearse safely over and over. And when you're on the job, after you've rehearsed it, if you still encounter something, you can call someone in remotely to support. So it's not just a thing that's happening tomorrow. We have many Fortune 500 organizations using it today, and they're seeing these incredible savings around the reduction of training time. And I know for all of you, training is money. It costs to train your employees, and it removes productivity the more training that you give them. So imagine being able to give them just as great training and take and have them perform an expert, because now they have this amazing tool that can help them understand the context of the problem inside of them. Imagine taking your experts, instead of sending them to solve minor problems, they can actually use the power of Teams and remote assist to be everywhere at once, helping everyone, every customer, every one of your locations that has a problem that only they can solve. And then when you look at, there's an amazing case study by Lockheed Martin that says over 2+ years on the Orion, where they're building a capsule to send people back to the moon, they've had a 90% reduction in touch labor. So they take an 8-hour piece of work and they reduce it to 45 minutes, and an 8-shift activity and reduce it down to 6 hours. And they've had 0 errors over 2+ years. That's transformative, not just to your business, but for your people as well. And the thing I'm the most proud about is this mixed reality community has been growing, and we have a strong ecosystem of ISVs and partners all over the world who are supporting us on this mixed reality multiverse mission, and it's very diverse industries. So I just wanted to give you a glimpse of 2 that I'm the most proud of. One is the team over at NUHS. So it's an academic research team that are using HoloLens to understand how it can assist neurosurgeons in very complex and dangerous brain surgery. So they can actually visualize brain tumors. They can see the nerve bundles that wrap around that tumor, which inform the surgeon of where and where not to cut. And when you are more precise, there's less healing and you get better outcome for the patient. Then we have our partner Trimble that has taken our standard HoloLens 2 and they've adapted it into a hard hat configuration. So it's all the management goodness, all the multi-user goodness. It just comes in a UL intrinsic safe package that allows you to take this on site and use it in hazardous locations. And then we have partners like BHP, who are using some of our first-party tools like Remote Assist in order to support them, especially during the pandemic. So they call it the remote in, remote out policy, where they used to have fly in, fly out. And now Woody, who is an expert diesel mechanic, can help people on site without exposing himself or the people on site to the risk of COVID. And I mentioned that they were using Remote Assist. It is a spectacular application, shows off mixed reality in all its glory. It works on HoloLens, it works on mobile. It integrates into our Dataverse, and it also integrates into Dynamics Field Service. But the core is it allows a person in the field who experiences a problem to call any expert anywhere in the world. They're in your GAL. The experts use Teams. You can actually have multiple experts supporting you in real time, and it's a really amazing experience. Those experts can send schematics. They can actually annotate into the world to help you resolve a problem faster without any errors, and it's a magical capability. Another solution that we're very proud of at Microsoft is our guides solution. So Dynamics 365 Guides allows your learning instructor or an expert in your organization to author step-by-step instructions onto a physical asset. They can use video, they can use animations, and one of the beautiful parts about guides is there's no coding required. I always say if you can make a PowerPoint, you can make a guide. And then you're able to deploy those work instructions or those operation instructions to your users. So in this video, you see a woman who's skilled. She's just not confident on this fuel system assembly because she hasn't done it before. And you can see guide not just guides her around the physical asset itself, but it guides her around the space. And it shows her exactly what she needs to do. It prompts when necessary. And I talked before how you can have video that feeds in. One of the other amazing things about guides is you can integrate it into the Dataverse, which means that you have IoT data or Power Apps that you want to be a part of the step-by-step in order to automate it or to have more information contextually ready for the user. You can do that as well, completely out of the box, and as I mentioned before, without coding. Now, in the background, one of the things that we have done is we have taken all of these services that we're working on that you as a developer or ISV have access to, and we make those available via Azure, the world's largest computer. And one of the ones I love is Azure Object Anchors. So Azure Object Anchors is able to take the precise geometry of the physical world that the HoloLens is looking at and overlay a 3D asset in real time so that you can use it as instead of a QR code, and it's super precise. So Toyota is using this in the services of their cars to ensure that the exact geometric placement of the wiring harness is very, very clear, and it helps them do the work much quicker, and it also helps eliminate any errors. And we at Microsoft actually use Azure Object Anchors in the current version guides. So you can actually take a BIM model or a CAD model and you can upload it into guides. And that allows the HoloLens to see your physical environment and then map your guides controls over it. And like I said, any developer can take advantage of this right now. You don't have to have specifically guides, but using guides, since it's codeless, is a really amazing and straightforward way to get into it. Now, the question I get asked all the time is around really large and complex, and how do you do this? Well, the truth is, for anything that's not a CAD workstation, typically you have to go through an art process called decimation, where you remove complexity of the model, which makes it easier to render, but it comes at the cost of precision. Well, at Microsoft, we allow you to load those complex models into Azure on a massive GPU. And we render that in real time at full fidelity down into a HoloLens in a way that allows you to continue to use your eyes and hands. So the user has no idea it's running remotely. They see an amazing high fidelity model, complete precision to the CAD in 4K, which is the resolution of the device. And then the last service, which is quickly becoming a favorite of mine, is an Azure Spatial Anchor, which allows HoloLens, iOS, and Android tablets to can collaborate in real time in the same physical space. So imagine placing an anchor on an asset inside of a warehouse, and then a service person has nothing except for their tablet. They've never been there before, being able to hold it up and have wayfinding guide them through that entire factory exactly to the place you want to go. Well, that is what's possible with an Azure Spatial Anchor. And again, it works across all your devices. So you could actually have people doing training built with this tool. They will all see the asset physically oriented in the same place at the same time, and it will allow them to collaborate. Which brings me to Microsoft Mesh. So at Ignite last time, Alex Kipman in the keynote introduced this incredible new way to feel presence, experience together, and connect from anywhere. And the promise of Mesh is on any device. And you may have remembered seeing the Holopretation, which is an API inside of Microsoft Mesh. You may have avatars, which are an API inside of Microsoft Mesh, and just wanted to get your hands on it. So I'm really proud to say that you can register for the private preview to get access to the Mesh bits. There will be a public preview that comes next year. But this morning, you might have remembered Alex showed this guide where we would have the HoloLens Mesh app. We have AltSpace VR, and he said coming soon is Microsoft Teams. Well, this morning in the keynote, they announced that Microsoft Mesh for Teams is coming early in 2022. It's an experience. It's able to use the motions that are coming off your and project this into a team call on your laptop and mobile. It's coming to more devices in the future. And Accenture talked about how they've designed a new hire orientation environment called the Nth Floor that allows their new hires to connect and collaborate and learn Accenture processes and tools instead of being isolated in a 2D way. They can do it collaboratively as if they physically were there. And it's a very magical experience. So with that, I just wanted to share one last thing. It's very exciting. Through Microsoft Stores, we have an exclusive, we have a 15% discount available. It's only through Store, but it's for the HoloLens 2 Standard Edition, the Development Edition, and the Industrial Edition. So Trimble makes the XR10 does not fall under this 15% discount, but you can get up to 5 devices for each SKU. That's 15 in total. Your organization can get at 15% off. And there are 23 supported markets for HoloLens 2 through MS Stores. And here in the region, it's Australia, New Zealand, and Singapore have MS Stores. But if you're not in those regions, I wanted you to see their authorized device resellers that you can reach out to. So take a screenshot here. It's also on the hololens.com/buy page. And Trimble looks after XR10 in all of their regions. And here in Australia and New Zealand, it's Building Point that looks after it. So I'm so sorry about the technical difficulties. I'm so glad that you got stuck around. And if you have any questions, I will absolutely stay on to them all. Thank you.